Hello, Junior Guides. I am Safari Guide Frank. I hope you are as excited as I am about today's safari. Let's go! Can you guess what we will be seeing today? Take a look at these pictures. What do you think? Today on our safari, we will be looking at mammals. You might be asking yourself, what exactly is a mammal? Well, mammals are animals that have hair that covers their body. They give birth to live young, and they also feed the young milk, just like humans do. And these are just a few of the characteristics of mammals. Maybe you can see if you can find a few more. Today we are going to look at some interesting mammals. These animals you can all find on your next safari. So let's go! The group of animals that we are going to be looking at today is called the Big Five. The Big Five is probably some of the most world-renowned animals there are. This group consists of the lion, the leopard, the mighty elephant, the rhinoceros, and the African Cape buffalo. These animals were given this name, the Big Five, because these animals were deemed to be the most dangerous animals to hunt in all of Africa. The first animal we are going to look at in the Big Five is the lion. The male lion is also known as the king of the bush. He has a big, impressive mane that helps protect him when he fights against other males. A big male lion can weigh up to 250 kilograms. That is about 500 pounds. But in actual fact, a more accurate estimate on average is that a male lion would weigh in the vicinity of 200 to 220 kilograms. The largest male lion ever recorded was in the Kruger National Park and weighed 272 kilograms. The male lion controls a very large area known as his territory. Within this territory, he will be in control of a group of females known as the pride. This includes the females and their cubs. In certain areas, you will find that there is more than one male lion that controls the area together. These groups are called coalitions. The lions that we are looking at in this photo is the female lions or lionesses. Now, one can distinguish the females from the males because the females do not have manes like the males do. Unless it is a young male lion where the mane is not as pronounced, then it can be a little bit difficult to distinguish between the two. Young male lions start developing their mane from about 1.5 years, but it really only becomes pronounced at around 4 years of age, and will be at a full mane when they are roughly 6 years old. A lioness can weigh in the vicinity of about 150 kilograms, or about 300 pounds. Now the lioness, sisters and cubs make up the rest of the pride. Lions are seen as the only social cats in the world, and they can live in very large groups of up to about 20 individuals, and in certain parts of Africa, even more. A female lion or lioness's gestation period is about 3.5 months, or roughly 110 days. Gestation period means how long the female will be pregnant for. After this stage, they will generally give birth to an average of 2 to 3 cubs in a litter. When it comes to hunting, you will find that the female lions or lionesses do most of the hunting. The reason for this is that they are a little bit smaller and more agile than the males. But this does not mean that the male lions do not hunt. They absolutely do hunt, and the females often need the male's brute strength to help bring down the prey. Lions can run at speeds of up to 80 kilometers an hour. This is quite impressive for an animal that weighs over 300 pounds. As we know, lions are carnivorous animals. This means that they feed mainly on meat, and they like to hunt animals like kudu, impala, and one of their favorites, the Cape buffalo. The next animal on our list is the leopard. This is probably one of my favorite animals. Leopards are shy and secretive animals. They live mostly on their own and have a very solitary lifestyle. Both the male and the female leopards will have territories that they control, but the male leopard's territory is generally a lot larger than those of the females. What you will find is that there will usually be 3 or 4 females that have territories within the male's territory. Male leopards can weigh up to about 80 kilograms. That is 200 plus pounds. Now, female leopards are quite significantly smaller, about half the size of the male leopards, so roughly about 40 kilograms. The female leopard's gestation period is slightly less than those of a lion. They are pregnant for about 90 days, and they will also give birth to an average of 2 to 3 cubs in a litter. Leopards are excellent hunters, and they use stealth to stalk their prey. They are carnivorous animals just like lions, and they hunt small to medium-sized prey, animals like warthog, duiker, and impala. One of the most fascinating things about leopards for me is how powerful they are. A leopard has the ability to take its prey up a tree that is twice its own body weight. There have been recorded cases in Africa of a leopard dragging a buffalo calf and even a fully grown Inyala bull into a tree. But the most impressive recorded case was that of a giraffe calf. So why do leopards drag their prey up into a tree? Well, this is to keep the prey safe from other animals like lions and hyenas. Leopards put in a lot of effort to hunt their prey, so it's important for them to get as much out of the prey as possible and not lose it to hyenas and other carnivores. The next animal on our list is the mighty rhino. Rhinos are the second largest land mammal on Earth, next to the African elephant. The rhino has 2 horns that protrude from the front of their face, 1 small horn and 1 large horn. Rhinos' horns come in different shapes and sizes, and the reason for this is that rhinos groom their horns just like we would groom our nails and our hair. They do this by rubbing their horn against fallen over trees, rocks, and tree trunks. We call these rubbing posts. A rhino's horn is made from a substance called keratin. This is important to know because a lot of people in the world believe that a rhino's horn has some medicinal value, and that is why many rhinos across Africa are being poached and killed. It is important to note that the rhino's horn has 0 medicinal values. Keratin is a substance that is exactly the same as our nails and our hair. It is very important for all of us to play our part and make sure we protect our rhinos so that one day your kids will have the privilege to see these beautiful animals in the wild. Male rhinos are generally fairly solitary animals, and they usually walk on their own, but they join up with females every once in a while. Female rhinos are a lot more social animals, and they tend to live in a group. A group of rhinos is called a crash of rhinos. The reason why it's called a crash is when rhinos run through the bush, because they are so big, they often run over shrubs and bushes and basically crash over them. Female rhinos give birth to a single calf after a gestation period of 16 months. 16 months is for the white rhino, and the black rhino is 15 months gestation. The calf will remain quite close to mom for up to 2 years until it is weaned. We know that all rhinos are herbivores, but there are 2 species of rhinos as we've mentioned before, the white rhino and the black rhino. The white rhino is what we call a grazer, which means it eats predominantly only grass. The black rhino is what we call a browser, which means they eat mostly twigs and leaves. The black rhino, because of their diet, is found in denser habitat. The next animal on our list is the mighty elephant. The elephant is the largest mammal that lives on land. The largest mammal in the world lives in the ocean, and that is the blue whale. Remember that fact. Now the male elephant can weigh up to 6,000 kilograms. That's right, 6 tons, and they usually live on their own. Female elephants can weigh up to 4,000 kilograms, and they live in large herds that we call breeding herds. A group of elephants, apart from being called a breeding herd, can also be called a parade. The reason for this is when there is a large group of elephants, it looks like they move in a parade-like fashion. Elephant herds vary from very small groups, only 4 to 6 individuals, up to as many as 60 elephants. It is sometimes difficult to estimate how many elephants are in the herd. Sometimes they can even be more than 60 elephants, sometimes even 100 elephants. When this happens, it is usually when 3 or 4 different groups of elephants have just congregated together and will go their separate ways again. Elephants are very smart and intelligent animals and can remember extremely well. That's where the saying comes from, elephants never forget. All elephants can remember where they found water many, many years ago when they were still young. So, in dry periods, they can lead the herd back to where they found water years ago. Elephants are what we call herbivores, and they need to eat a lot of food every single day. A big bull elephant can eat up to 200 kilograms of food every single day. They eat food like fruits, grass, leaves from trees, as well as the bark from trees, and other food like the roots and tubers of specific species of plants. Female elephants have the longest gestation period of all land mammals, 22 months. That is almost 2 years before she will give birth. And when she does, she will give birth to a single calf that will stay with the mom for up to 2 years. The next animal on our list is the world-renowned African buffalo. Buffaloes can live in extremely large herds, up to 1,000 animals in a herd. A herd of buffalo is also called an obstinance. This is because buffalo can be extremely stubborn animals, and the main reason for their stubbornness is that they get harassed by lions very often. A male buffalo can weigh up to about 1,000 kilograms. Their horns look like big helmets and are used to fight each other in order to determine which of the males are the dominant ones. Buffaloes do not have territories that they protect, but they do travel vast distances to look for water and food, so we say that they have a home range. Buffaloes can be very grumpy animals. As we mentioned before, it's most likely because they get harassed by lions very often. Buffaloes are herbivores and they only eat grass, therefore we call them grazers. All buffalo bulls are often found on their own and love to roll around in the mud. This is called wallowing. This helps to cool them down and get rid of parasites. These old bulls are often referred to as dugger boys. Now the word dugger or udaka comes from a Zulu word, which means mud, which is why these bulls are called dugger boys. Female buffalo's gestation period is about 8 months, and they usually give birth to 1 calf in the summer months. This is the end of part 1 of mammals. We look forward to seeing you all again on our next adventure when we look at part 2 of mammals.